What's up, Facebook? We got YouTube and we got Instagram. Hey, everybody. Today I wanted to talk a little meta of a title. The title of this is Don't Take Advice Without Listening to This. And who am I to be giving advice while telling you not to take advice? But it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I've been talking with Jordan a lot about this as well. And if you're new to who I am, hey, I'm Melanie Suber. I run a global real estate business, and I have been a serial entrepreneur for 7 to 10 years now. I'm obsessed with personal development, growing business. Marketing is my super jam, and real estate. And so over the years, since I started my business in 2016, so 7.5 years now, I have always been looking for mentors, whether that is just friends that are ahead of where I am or was at the time, or formal mentors that I pay. Maybe you've seen, I am in a $60,000 coaching program right now, and it's been incredible. And I love learning from the coaches there. Or just people on YouTube that I watch for free, books that I read. Mentorship can come in all different forms. And like I said, I forgot to turn my light on. Hey, everybody. Kind of liked it better before. What do you think? Should we keep the light off? It's a little darker, kind of cooler. Let's see if we could do 50%. Oh, that's way too bright. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you like it dark or in the light on. And while you're at it, let me know if you're watching it live or watching the replay. Just give me a quick #live or #replay. So anyway, I've been obsessed with learning and growing really for a lot of my life, but specifically in the business area. And I have gotten better at taking advice the longer that I've been learning, which, you kind of hope to get better at discerning between what you should listen to and what you shouldn't. And the biggest thing that I've learned is that people will always give advice from their experience. Now, that's kind of a no-brainer because obviously that's why you're probably asking them for advice. They're giving you advice from their experience. But I think most people don't think about this because let's use a common non-business example. Let's say you have a friend who's in a relationship and she comes to you and says, my boyfriend just proposed to me. Should I say yes? Now, depending on if you are in a happy relationship, in an unhappy relationship, if you just got out of a dysfunctional relationship, if you just got out of a great relationship, your advice that you give to that friend is likely going to change based on all 4 of those scenarios. And, if you just got out of a really loving relationship where you thought that guy was going to propose to you, you might say, no, you can't trust anyone. He's just going to break your heart. Say no to him. Better to get out now before he even breaks your heart even further down the line, Or versus if you're in a very happy marriage, you might say, yeah, your boyfriend's great. Marriage is the best. I love being married. You should say yes. Now, just that tiny thing is very, what am I trying to say? Depending on that person, depending on, in this case scenario, your experience, the advice that you give your friend is going to be very different. And this is why people say that you shouldn't take advice from people that don't already have what you want, or don't take advice from people that you wouldn't switch places from. Because, for example, if I were to, like when Jordan proposed to me, if I was going to ask for advice and ask someone who was single or ask someone who was not in a long-term loving, happy marriage, that advice, I would know that is skewed by their life experience and what their marriage was like, is like, etc. Now, very skilled and qualified coaches will be able to remove their bias. And that is one of the values of having a coach that you can just have an unbiased conversation with and say, hey, what do you think I should do? Because the second thing is that most people, when they're giving advice, they have skin in the game. They have personal incentives. So for example, in that marriage thing, if your friend just got proposed to, but you are a single person and she's your best friend and you are scared that if she gets married, you won't be able to spend as much time with her, your advice might be, I don't know. Are you really sure? Remember that thing he does that bothers you so much? And it comes off as you're just giving advice to your friend, but really you're just saying, I don't want you to get married because I don't want less time with you. So not only do people project their own experiences and their own beliefs and perspectives on the advice that they're giving you, but they also, most people to some degree, have a ulterior motive or a hidden agenda. Not like an agenda, but it's just human nature. If Jordan says, hey, should I go buy this blue shirt and I love the way he looks in blue, I'm going to be like, yeah, great. You should. That's amazing. And like, it's not a hidden agenda, but it's like, if I love the way he looks in blue, that is going to alter the advice that I give him. So again, just be aware when people are giving you advice, like especially on YouTube channels, if they're saying, oh, Facebook ads is the only way to grow your business. By the way, buy my Facebook ad course for $25,000. It's questionable whether that advice is coming from a true place of genuine wanting to help, or if they're just wanting you to buy their course. Now, most marketers, I believe the good ones are ones that are the first part of the advice that I'm saying, which is they are basing it off of their perspective and their experience. So if, for example, they have had a lot of success with Facebook ads, and because of that, they're so excited and they want to share it, it can still be a valid thing that they're selling a Facebook ad course. It doesn't discount it. I think it gets a little gray if they've never run Facebook ads. And, unfortunately, it's really easy for anyone to be an entrepreneur these days. Anyone can throw up a website and a products page and a checkout page, and they could be selling a course that they've never done anything. And that's why I think a lot of people can be distrustful. But just keep in mind, if you are learning from someone and they are telling you something, not always, like it does, absolutely not always does it have a very like evil hidden agenda, but kind of think, what would this person benefit from me believing what they're saying? For example, in this thing, I'm telling you to practice discernment and be a little skeptical of the advice. Ask yourself, what would Melanie gain from me doing that? Honestly, nothing, if anything negative, because maybe you're going to be skeptical of me and you're not going to like the things that I'm teaching. So pretty much if through that lens, it helps you, I hope, trust that what I'm saying here is just genuine. And just based on the past experiences that I've had, where I've had mentors that I really trust, and even with a little bit of space, looking back a couple years, I'm like, oh, that advice that they gave me was really tinted by these things. So if you're jumping in now, just a quick recap, you need to be really careful about the people that you are getting advice from, because one, it's always going to be skewed by their perspective and their experiences. And that's why it's really important to only take advice from people that you would switch places with. And number two, always be aware of what that person would benefit if you did take their advice. How would their life change if you did it? And, if it's a car salesman saying, oh, yeah, don't worry about the broken engine, it's good as new, just give me, $50,000. Well, it's very obvious what that person would benefit from that. Again, not saying it's possible that they're trying to sell you a $50,000 car and they would gain $50,000 from it. But if it is an amazing car and you want that car, it can still be a win-win. So just because they do benefit does not mean that you should never listen to them. It just add it to your pile of discernment when you're considering who to trust and who to listen to. And the third thing, which is really, really important, and I wish that more people knew this, especially in the business world, is that kind of jumping off the first point, which is don't listen to people that you wouldn't trade places with. Just because they have what you want doesn't mean the advice that they're giving will work for you. Now, I'm going to say that again, because this took me a long time to learn. Just because they have what you want doesn't mean that the advice that they're giving will work for you. Now, let me give you an example like that. For example, I have been posting pretty much every single day on social media for 3, maybe 4 years now. I have put in the time. I have, been building my brand and putting in the effort and all of those things. And so I can say that I get inbound real estate clients. Some people will just reach out to me. Maybe I have spoken to them in person. Maybe I haven't, if we're just Facebook friends or Instagram friends, they see me on YouTube. I get people that reach out to me and say, hey, Melanie, can you list my house for me? I've been following you on Facebook for 3 years or 2 years or 1 year or whatever. And I also get people reaching out to join the Royal Circle, our team at EXP, because we do a lot of this coaching. So I get inbound agents that are saying, hey, I've been following you for a while. I'm not happy with my brokerage. I would love to switch. Let's have a Zoom call. Now, I can give advice and say, oh, all you have to do, hey, Komisha, good to see you. All you have to do is post on Instagram and you'll get a flood of clients. And that is true. And that works for me right now. But if you are a brand new agent and you have bills to pay and you have your back against the wall and you don't have the time to wait to, posting on social media, and we call it attraction marketing because you're attracting people to you. That takes time. It works, absolutely. And I always recommend having at least one active marketing and one passive marketing that you're working on. But if you just see me and you're like, oh, Melanie talks all the time about how great attraction marketing is, and I want clients to come to me just from posting, let me do that. But you're forgetting that I'm 3 or 4 years maybe ahead of you. So just because you might, in this case, if you're a brand new agent and I have what you want, which is a little bit more real estate success than you, just because I have what you want doesn't mean that you should listen to exactly the advice that I'm giving to you in that moment. Now, again, good coaches and good people will say, like I always tell, I'm very transparent with everyone that I coach on my team or in our programs. Like I said, if your back is against the wall and you need a real estate client tomorrow, don't wait to post on social media. It does take a little bit longer. There are other ways. You should be hosting open houses or reaching out to your friends and family, or a million other ways that I advise, but I wouldn't say that is the fastest way to your next client, So this happens a lot because, again, people are seeing, like, even this was a really hard, and is still sometimes, Jordan and I, we love, like I said in the beginning, I believe that the best way to learn is from mentors of people who already have what you want, who are ahead of you. So we're always studying other successful entrepreneurs to see what they did. But we're now before we would just like listen to a podcast and be like, oh, this is what they're doing, we got to do this too. Now we're taking it to the next level and we're thinking, okay, well, like Elon Musk got a $300,000 loan from his dad, or $200,000 loan. We don't have that. So like what Elon Musk did, just because he's extremely successful and we would love to be like him one day, doesn't mean that we can do what he did, because there's other things in the background. So really if you take one thing from this, I just want you to think and to discern. That's the word, the theme of this. Try to be discerning. Not all advice is created equal. Not all people have your best interest when they're giving advice. Not all people even have, qualifications, so to say. Like if you don't take marriage advice from someone who's in an unhappy marriage, don't take business advice from someone who's broke, et cetera, because they will just share things that aren't necessarily helpful. So this is something, like I said, Jordan and I have been talking about this a lot these last couple of weeks, because again, we're always trying to learn from people. And this is something that we've run into, just trying to discern for our own advice that we're receiving and taking. So I just wanted to jump on and share this. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, if you're watching it live, give me a quick #live so I know. And if you're watching the replay, give me a #replay. And I will try to be back here next Monday with some more lessons that I'm learning in my life. In the meantime, remember, you're all kings and queens, and abundance is your birthright. And I'll see you at the top. Have the best day yet.